Welcome back to UiPath Test Manager Connect Part 2. If you do miss the Part 1, kindly please do watch and understand what is UiPath Test Manager Connect. Let's start the demo on Part 2. As we discussed, there are the four things we have to configure if you want to implement the integration, right? The first part, it is like repositories. So if you want to create the repositories, quickly we have to go to the tool. Let's go to our tool. This is the landing page of UiPath Test Manager Connect looks like. Okay, where in this particular landing page, you can see here an option called repositories, right? Click on the repositories where you can see, like when you click on the new repository connection, it will, you can see various tools which is being available. Like, so today's demo, we are going to implement the integration between UiPath Test Manager and Azure DevOps, right? So that what I'm choosing here, UiPath Test Manager. When I click on UiPath Test Manager, what are the mandatory fields it is asking? Name, URL, and also the authentication. Okay. So to implement this particular one, what should we have to do? It is like we have to go to our documentation first of all. So what kind of the scope should I have to give to get through the authentication? Let's go dive into it. If you see here, these are the scopes which I have to give to get API authentication. So to create an external application, I should have to pass this particular scope, right? So let's go to my cloud instance. This is my cloud instance. So let's click on admin, external application. Let's add application. So UiPath Test Manager Connect, confidential, add scopes, where you have to choose here, the scope is Test Manager. So we have to choose application scope. So let's copy one by one. TM projects.read. Okay, TM projects.read selected. Next one, requirements. Select objects. User read. Users read. Done. Test cases. Done. Test execution. Done. Custom fields. Done. Custom field values. Done. And test sets. Done. And next defects. We are done. So I just created. So just copy my client ID and my clients. Done. And also what I have to give, my test manager URL. This is my test manager URL. Test manager URL. You have to mention the title, UiPath Test Manager repo. Okay. So allow insecure connections to the repository. If you don't have the SSL certificate, so you have to choose this particular option. If it is a cloud instance, so I'm just saving this particular repo. So you can also verify whether the credentials are correct or not by clicking on this particular one. When it comes green, So your connection is success. So the other repo, which I want to sync the data, that is called Azure DevOps. Let's go to my Azure DevOps. What and all I required here? URL again, and also like authentication. I'm choosing the personal token. So let's access my Azure DevOps. So this is stop training. Let's see which org has access. Yeah, this org has an access. So I'm taking the URL. So here ADO repo. So I'm just generating the personal access token. Full access. I'm just giving test trying and create. I'm just copying and just pasting and save. Save. So you can verify whether the connection is success or not. The repo part is done. So the model creation, we can see the model creation in the tool. Let's take you. So before we are going to create a model, right? So we need to understand what content we have to integrate between these particular tools. The first one which I'm going to create is called test cases synchronization. So if I want to synchronize the test case from UiPath Test Manager to ADO, first of all, we need to understand what are the fields is present in this particular test case template. In ADO test case, we need to understand these particular templates. Then we have to create the model. So first of all, let's go to my my test manager where I'm just creating here the one of the new projects. So UiPath Test Manager underscore project. So UTP, I'll give. Let's okay. So if I go to the test cases tab, if I click on create test case, how many fields are there over here in this particular template? I can say mandatory fields, name. Name is the mandatory field and description is the another field. So usually these two fields contains the data. Take a notepad, make a note of this particular one. So in UiPath Test Manager, we have only the two fields, name and description. If I give these two fields data, I can successfully create my test case. Let's see. So here I can say test case created in UiPath Test Manager. All right. So in the description also, I'm just giving the same, the description. If I can create, it created, right? So we understand that if I want to create a test case in UiPath, I just required only the two things called either name and description, right? In the same way, let's see in the ADO, how many fields I do require in the ADO. So let's go to our project. Let's go to our project. This test project, test plan. Let's delete. Let's delete everything which is there in the boards as well. Test plan. Just click on the new test case. So here, what and all there in this particular template? Title is there, area is there, iteration, state, reason, as well as summary is nothing but description. So let's make a note. In the ADO, if I want to create, I require title, area, iteration, state, reason, as well as summary. Summary is nothing but description. So totally, how many fields I have to require if I want to create here? 5 fields, 6 fields totally, 6 fields in the ADO, right? So if I want to create a test case in UiPath, I just need only the 2 fields data. If I want to create a test case in the ADO, how many fields I do require? 6 fields I have to require. Okay. By using this particular one, first of all, we'll go with one direction, such as like if I create a test case in UiPath that need to sync to ADO. So what I will do, I have only in UiPath side, I have only the 2 fields. One is the name and description, right? So what I'll do usually, the name field data, I will sync to title. The description, I will sync to summary. But what about the other fields? So we required area and we require iteration. We require state. We require reason. We require. So that's it. I think we all good. So name I have given to title, description I am giving to summary. Okay, totally. We don't have the other fields. How can we get? In such scenario, in UiPath, we have a concept called custom field creation. Let's see the custom field creation. In the project settings, if you go to the project settings, where you have a tab called custom field definition. When you click on here, just create it. Create. Here, what and all I required? Area. I required area where it has to create this particular field in test case. So I'm just selecting a test case. So area, I just created. So the next one. Iteration, I created. Coming to whatever the other field, state. When it comes to the state is kind of a drop down, right? State is a kind of a drop down. I mean, like design. So the currently it is design, and the reason is also a drop down. Like we do have a different states as well, right? So not only the design. So first of all, we'll understand. So let's create a title. We will get to understand here. Test case created in ADO. I just created and take this same thing. I just provided in the description and save and close. I created here. If I just open the test case, I can see there are different other fields is also there. Design, ready, closed. Okay. As well as in the new. In the new as well, we have a different things are there. Okay. Reason we are not, it's a locked period. So we can remove this particular field. So the reason is not required. So just remove the reason field. So here reason also I am just removing. But I have to keep state, right? State is a drop down. So how many data are there? How many items are there in this particular drop down? Design, ready, closed. So what should I have to give? What should I have to do? So I have to create again this custom field called state. So I have to choose the object type called test case, where I have to just mention here what are the fields. The first one is design, ready, closed. So I have to choose the same way. Design, tab, ready, tab, close. Okay. So three fields I was need to populate. Click on save. So where can I see? I have created this particular fields. Where can I see this particular fields? Click on the test case. In this particular test case, if you created any test case, right? When you click on that particular test case, click on the details, where you can see here area. Area is the text. Nothing is there. State. State is a kind of a drop down. Design, ready, closed. So we are ready. So if I go to my integration, I have created these things. Okay, the area needs to sync to ADO area. Iteration has to sync to iteration, and state has to sync to state. Okay, but our UiPath Test Manager Connect is not a direct mapping tool. You have to go via a model-based approach, right? A model-based approach. So the model-based approach is always like your data, first of all, will go to the model. From the model to ADO, it will go to the ADO. So meaning, so in model, I have to create fields. So in the model, what are the fields I have to give here? So the model name, first of all, name is there, right? Name has to go to name field. Data has to go to model. From model to ADO title, it has to go. So I have to specify a field for that particular one. So for that, what I'm just giving here, it is like model. So M underscore title, I'm just giving. Okay. M indicates for model. So this is the model name, model field, sorry. M underscore description. M underscore area. M underscore iteration. M underscore. These fields we have to create in model. Okay. After creating the model, what you have to do here? So you have to UiPath. UiPath needs to map to model. Model needs to map to ADO, right? So here, ultimately, what will happen? The name field data will go to model field. From model to, it will go to ADO, right? You have to map this way. Description, it has to go to M underscore description. So it has to go to summary. Area. Area has to go to model area variable. Model area field available. From model area to ADO area. Iteration has to go to model iteration. And state as well. The same. State data is also need to be transferred to model state. And it has to go to ADO state. Okay. So let's create the model. You understand the model now. So how many fields I have to create in a model? Title, description, area, iteration, and state. Let's go to the tool. Let's create it. So this is my model. I'm going to create a new model called my test case model. I just created this particular model name. So the first one, what I have to create, M underscore name. So this is what I have created. M underscore title, sorry. M underscore title. The data type is string. Okay. So next one, M underscore description. So let's create M underscore description. So the data type is rich text. So why we have to choose the rich text? Rich text has a capability of accepting the new line. So in the both in ADO, in the ADO as well as test case, it will accept the new line. If you observe, this new line is accepted. So over in this particular description as well, the new line is accepted. So that's why we have to choose here rich text. Okay. The next one, it is like M area. M area is a string. Okay. M iteration. It's also a string. And the next one, it is like M state. M state is not a string. It's a drop down. We have to choose single select. So in the single select, what are the fields need to be available? The one is design. Another one is in progress. Another one is closed. Apply. We done. All the 5 fields we have done. So let's see this one. We have done with model creation. The next step to implement the integration is collection. So let's take you to the application and how we can map the fields between UiPath to model and model to ADO. So in the collection, as we discussed, we have to implement the this mapping from UiPath to model. After that, model to ADO. This is what we have to implement. So in this particular collection, let's go to the collection and create a new collection where we have to choose work item collection. For test case, we have to choose work item collection. So after that, so we are connecting from UiPath to model. So repository, which repository we have to choose? UiPath Test Manager. And also from which project to which project it has to sync the data, we have to choose that particular project as well. So our project is UiPath Test Manager project. I'm selecting this one. Done. Once it's selected, so you have to give title for this particular connection, UiPath Test Case Collection. So we have given, and the work item. So here the work item is like test case. And in earlier step, we have already been created this model, right? We have to choose the same model name, my test case model, and click on save. We're done. We're done with creation. So once we're done, we have 3 fields over here. So map fields, configure relationship, and personal reconciliation. So you will get to know about these particular other fields in upcoming integrations. But right now we are going with only one option called map fields. When you click on the map fields, here it will be give the list of the fields which is being available in my test manager and list of the fields which is being available in my model. Okay. So what I required here, it is like we already have discussed about this particular name has to go to M title and description has to go to M description. So the same mapping we are going to perform in the collection. So let's see, name has to go to title, connect, and description has to go to M description, connect, and area has to go to M area, connect, and iteration has to go to M iteration, connect, and state has to go to M state, connect. So the state is a drop down, right? It's a drop down. We have to configure. So when you click on here, the configure option, it will ask you what needs to be mapped. So in the state, if you go to the test manager, if you go to our test manager, if I choose my project, if I go there, so in my test case, what are the fields are being available? Design, ready, close. The data is coming from UiPath Test Manager. The same thing. The data is coming from UiPath Test Manager. This is connecting to the modal data connect. And in progress, design, close, and ready. I'm just giving as in progress. Okay, just done. This particular mapping is done. Empty to empty. If I am not passing any data, it has to pass as this one. Okay. So let's change here. Instead of the ready, what I have given in progress, right? If I want to change this particular one, what I have to do here, it is like, let's go to my test and click on the field values. Instead of in progress, change it to ready. So is it ready? Just check. Ready. Yeah, it's ready. So it's a ready. Just apply it and save it and click on OK. Okay. Done. So coming to here, the configure, if I just refresh, ready to ready, it's done. It's automatically get changed. Done. This kind of mapping is done. One way mapping is done. So we are done with this particular collection. Now the second collection, it is like your model to ADO. So what we have to choose again, work item collection. And also now the repository, which repository we have to do, ADO repo. And which project I have to sync, test project, and I have just selected, and I have to give here ADO test case collection. Then ADO test case collection. So here we have to choose again test case. You have to choose test case. So here in the model as well, the same model name. So UiPath, you have been connected with my test case model, right? For this ADO also, you have to connect with the same model. So I've chosen and saved. Okay. Again, what we have to perform? Map fields. So when we click on the map fields, again, what mapping we have to done? We already been discussed. So M title has to go to title. M description has to go to summary. So let's see. M title I choose. Over here, it has to go to title. Let's connect. Okay. M's description, it has to go to. So this is also like description. It has to go to description. Okay. And also M area, it has to go to area path. Connect. And M iteration, it has to go to iteration. Done. M state, it has to go to state. So in the configure, if you click on this configure, it's automatically, we have to map again this particular one. Correct. Design to design, and ready to ready, and close to close, and empty to empty. See. So we are done with collection. Now we have been done with the collection. So when we implement the integration, the data from UiPath will go to model, from model to ADO. This is how it will go. The next step is like integration, implementing the integration. Let's go to the integration tab. Over here, click on the list and click on new integration. When you click on the new integration, it will ask here what kind of a synchronization you want to do. So we are performing the test case synchronization. So that you have to choose the integration style as work item synchronization. Okay, in this work item synchronization, so I have to give a title for this one, UiPath and ADO test case integration. I've just given a title. So from where to where it has to go? From UiPath. I'm just choosing the UiPath repo. here I'm choosing ADO repo. Okay, we created a collection, right? UiPath collection. We have to choose the UiPath collection here, the test case collection. And this one is ADO test case collection. We have to choose the test case collection and click on the save. Okay, once we click on the save, where you will get a set of options. We'll try to understand what is this particular option. First of all, the first one, it is like artifact creation flow. What is this artifact creation flow? When you click on this particular one, it will show you different kinds of creation. Like, is it a bi-directional supportable or one direction is being supportable? So there are here it says about like direction of syncing. So what we discussed in our integration, we have to sync the test case from UiPath Test Manager to ADO. So meaning it is a one way. So what we have to choose here, it is by default, it is being selected with bi-direction. We have to change to one direction, UiPath to ADO, and ADO to UiPath, it should not support. So that's why I'm choosing here this one, this option. Just select and save and click on done. The one-way direction is done. So if you see, the direction is also got changed here from bi-directional to a single direction. And still there are some, please configure artifact routing. If you hover on this particular, we did not done. And next the tab, it is like field flow. What is this field flow? When you click on the field flow, we have connected, right? We have mapped, right? These mappings will be showcased. What data is going to where? So UiPath data is going to where? So here see, name, field content is going to ADO title field. Description, UiPath description field is going to ADO description. So it states about these all the details. So the 5 configurations are there. So if you see here, the 5 fields are configured. Done. And next one, artifact routing. What is this artifact routing? So which project data has to which project? That we have to mention. UiPath Test Manager project data needs to go to ADO test project. So if you click on the connect, it will create this particular project-based mapping. Okay, this project-based mapping is done. See, and done. We're done with the integration. We're done with the integration. Let's see. Let's see. Click on run. Run and click on done. What will happen? Okay, we already have a test case. We already have a test case. This test case needs to sync to ADO. So whether it's been synced or not, we will verify. So let's go to boards. So still it's not synced. Okay, let's see if it is not synced. Is there any errors have been present in the? How can we verify? There we get an option called activity. There is a tab called activity. If you click on the activity tab, it will help you whether is there any failures are there. Yes, there is a failure. You see, there is a failure. The same test case, the test case created in the UiPath Test Manager, while syncing from UiPath to ADO, it failed with this below error. What it's stating, area path must be specified, iteration path must be specified. So we did not pass the area path and iteration path in this particular test case. That's why it is being failed with that particular error. So let's put what is the area path and iteration path. Here area path, what need to pass? Test and test. So let's pass area path as test and iteration path as test. We have done. So what we have to do? We have updated the values. What needs to be performed, it automatically get picked. In case if it taking little time, what you have to perform here, it is like you may just prioritize. Just click on the prioritize. It's automatically get prioritized. If you see again it's failed with the field state contains the value ready that is not in the list of supported values. List of supported values. Let's try. So it should be in the design state. Okay, let's keep this as design state and let's retry one more time. So now refresh. It was synced. So where it has synced? So it is being synced. Let's verify in the ADO. In the ADO, let's go to the boards. If you see, test case created in the UiPath Test Manager is successfully synced. So let's see whether whatever the data which we are passing is come as expected or not in the title. So in this particular title, what we have just mentioned, the name is synced to title field. Okay, let's go to the summary. The description will go to description. The description test case created in the UiPath Test Manager. Area, what we have passed? Test, iteration test. So let's see, it is passed as test, and state is design. So the state is design. Then we have successfully implemented the integration between UiPath to Test Manager. Sorry, UiPath to AD. So can we see the vice versa as well? Can we see the vice versa as well? If I create a something in ADO, some test case in the ADO, will it sync to UiPath or not? What we have to do here for that particular one? So if I want to create a test case in UiPath, I required only two fields. One is called name and description. That is already been there. So we no need to implement a special, we no need to create or modify the existing mapping. We simply, what we do require here, it is like in the integration, let's go to the integrations. In the integration tabs, in the artifact creation flow, change to bidirectional. Just select this one and click on the save and done. Okay, done. Let's go to the activity. Let's wait for some time. So now see here, still only one get completed. So now what it has to perform? There is the another test case which is being present. The test case is called test case created in the ADO. That needs to get synced to our UiPath Test Manager. Let's wait for some time. Okay. So how you will get to know whether it's been processing or not? Just reload this particular page. So we done the integration. Let's verify. It's changed to bidirectional and artifact routing. See, the artifact routing is still showing one directional. So we have to change to a bidirectional. Add selected and connect. So let's delete the duplicate one. Now the integration is perfect, bidirectional. So UiPath Test Manager project to test and test to UiPath project. This is missing. That's why the synchronization was not happening. So done. And let's go to the activity. Let's wait for some time. Let's update this test case on the so it was not synchronizing. That's why I'm just selecting, choose the collection from which to initiate the synchronization. ADO, this particular test, understand all eligible criteria. I'm just clicking on the initiate. This is not initiated. That's why it kick-started the synchronization. If you see test case created in the ADO, it's get updated. So somehow it's not initiated because we have modified after implementing the integration. So that's why we have initiated that particular integration. Let's verify now. See, a few seconds ago, ADO, the test case got synchronized. Test case created in the ADO, it got synchronized. Hope you understand the concept of implementing this integration from, especially the test case integration from UiPath Test Manager to ADO. If you like this video, kindly please do subscribe and like this video. Thank you.